Hey everyone, Scott David here, the Director of Investigations at Animal Outlook, and I'm here to talk about more pop culture stuff and how it relates to animals. And today we're going to talk about an iteration of one of the most iconic comic book characters ever. We're talking about Clark Kent, or Kal-El, also known as Superman. And specifically, this is the Clark Kent from the pages of Superman Birthright, a limited series showing the Man of Steel while he's just starting out as a costumed hero. And the reason we're talking about this specific Superman is because he's a vegetarian. We're going to talk about why he doesn't eat meat and the imagery that might cause others to follow along that path. So just some background if you're not really familiar with the character. Superman is an alien from the planet Krypton who crashed on Earth as an infant after his planet exploded. He has a multitude of powers including super strength, durability, heat vision, flight, cold breath, etc. that come from the radiation he absorbs from our yellow sun. Another power he shows in Superman Birthright is the ability to see a kind of aura coming off of animals. And apparently this is just an incredibly beautiful halo of light which fades when an animal dies. And the loss of that beauty is the reason Clark is a vegetarian. Specifically, he says that what's left behind after those colors fade is hard to look at. And he calls what's left behind empty in a way that leaves him empty too. So at this point, it is worth noting that in a lot of stories, Superman doesn't even necessarily have to eat as long as he has exposure to the sun. But he does tend to eat, potentially just to fit in with human beings. And speaking of human beings, we can't see this fantastic halo of colors coming off of animals. I wish we could, but that's not the case. But that doesn't mean that looking at death or suffering is any easier or less impactful for us. Graphic, hard-to-watch content is often used by movements to help spur change, whether it's shots of animal cruelty, or preventable accidents, or abuses of power. But does the kind of imagery we capture on camera actually have the desired effect on people? Or are we just turning people away from the movement? The answer to that, I think, is kind of difficult to give, but there are a few studies that we can look at and refer to for clues. For one, there was a 2009 study done that showed a PETA pig farm investigation to 53 university students, and what they found was that the video increased PETA's credibility to the viewers. The video included things like workers beating pigs with rods and killing piglets, among other things. But another survey done by Farm found that the least graphic imagery gave viewers the best attitude towards animal rights. They showed people different photos, with the most graphic being a pig with their throat cut on a bloody floor, and the least graphic being a dead pig with no blood. Could be important to note, though, that these were all images, and all of the images showed pigs who were already dead. A 2012 study by the Humane Research Council showed video to 500 people aged 15 to 23, and they found that graphic content caused the biggest number of people to say that they wanted more information about vegetarian or vegan food. And this is compared to content like a video on weight loss and health, or a non-graphic video about an animal escaping from slaughter. And in 2015, a Humane League study with 800 18-year-old omnivore participants looked at different pictures of animals, including cute images of rescues, animals stuck in confinement on farms, and images of injured or dead animals. And they found that the most effective images were the ones with sick or injured animals, with animals in confinement still being compelling, but a little less effective. So we see that in most of these studies, graphic imagery compares favorably to other kinds of imagery when it comes to eliciting the kind of responses that movements might want from people. Shocking content can probably change the minds of people, or at least spur them into some sort of action, like it did for Superman. But of course, more research should definitely be done to establish a clearer understanding of how these different approaches work on different people. So, for example, Why did the farm study have a different result from the others? Which people are most likely to be influenced by graphic versus non-graphic content? And even if graphic content is effective, will people even watch it if they're not being forced to, like they were in these studies? There's still a lot, I think, that we need to figure out. So that's pretty much all I had for today. Most of the info on these studies came from a 2020 article by Laura Fernandez. Please check that out in the description for further details. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.